So, my cats told me they don't want me to do any more decorating and I should sit with them, and let's face it, I fucking hate decorating this house. Only because it's nothing like them stupid TV shows where, you know, they spend about half an hour scraping the walls and then 15 minutes with a tub of filler from the pan shop, and then magically you've got what look like professionally plastered walls. Better than most fucking plasterers will come around your door and do it in the first place. Nah, it's never like that, mate. Never like that. But yeah, I thought I can't really leave it like that. There's going to be too many questions from myself and nobody else, because I don't think anyone watches these videos from start to finish. So, let's recap. The C64 full size, obviously. The Mini is well out of the picture now, boy. Nobody wants the Mini. They probably don't even make it anymore. It's not worth it. It's not just a matter of do you buy that. See, if you're happy using an emulator anyway, and you use your emulator on an LCD TV, then perhaps, assuming that the new microswitched joystick that you can buy on its own for 20 quid is enough. I mean, if you just want to play Iridium with a joystick, and the new joystick, microswitched joystick, not like the rubbish that comes with a C64 Mini, is actually half decent, you know, maybe up to competition pro standards. Yeah, it's not going to be a zip stick, but then, you know, that might be enough. You might not actually need a C64 Mini. Now, of course, if you want everything to do the C64, you're going to want to buy a C64 full size anyway. Just like you probably own one of them stupid Webbit computers, WEB-IT, which is a shit computer in a keyboard which runs an emulator which plays C64 games really badly. There's one on eBay at the moment for 200 quid. Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Nobody wants that shit. It don't even look like a C64. And you probably have a C64X if you're a completist from Commodore USA. I've never seen one for sale. Don't smoke, for fuck's sake. And you know, like I said, those are your options. So your option isn't just real C64 or just the C64 full size. If you bought the C64 Mini and you paid full whack for that, you're probably a bit pissed off because the joystick is shit and the machine is not really that usable without a keyboard. It's very annoying, so that's no good. And then you probably be pissed off then because you think, do I actually want another thing from this company? Will it be any good? I've not even played the C64 Mini, it's just been sat there in the box. I tried the joystick, but I only paid 40 quid for it from some cash converters rip-off. Yeah, it's called Cash Generator, yeah, I know. What can you say, mate? Welcome to Britain. So, you know, you don't necessarily need one. I don't think 110 quid is a lot for any kind of mechanical keyboard. And on the videos, I've been looking for a review of the microswitched joystick. I haven't found it. Maybe it's hidden in a review of the C64 full size, which I can't watch. Because if I do get one, I'll make up my own mind about it and then watch the videos and see what other people thought. I won't do it the other way around. If someone says, you know, this is no good or this is annoying, I'm going to have a preconception there. So, which is what obviously Mary had with the baby Jesus, yeah, just thought I'd get that in for the old Christmas angle, because these have got nothing to do with Christmas. So yeah, you know, if you didn't buy a C64 Mini, even if you have a real C64, you know, it's worth getting a C64 full size just to check out some games without worrying about SD to IEC business. And then you can work out what real games you want to buy on disc, for example, which games are unplayable because of the multi-load on tape. Defender of the Crown, I'm looking at you, boy. Defender of the Crown is great on the C64, but it needs a disk drive accelerator or a really good crack. It's not playable on tape. On tape, it should never have come out on tape. So yeah, you know, I think you should get one anyway, really. If you're interested, if you love the C64 and you don't have a C64 that's set up all the time with SD to IEC or TAPuino or both, and you don't have a CRT TV to play them on, a good one as well, preferably, not a knackered one, then yeah, you know, I think everyone should be able to play C64 games when they feel like it. You should have a way to just instantly play it without having to use Windows. But you know, even then, if you've only got an LCD and you've only got a PC, then you can use WinVice and the joystick that's sold separately for 20 quid. So that's an option too. I think really the Christmas miracle here, getting the Christmas angle in again, even though it's got fuck all to do with Christmas, is really that you've got the option. I'm amazed it came out. It should have been the C64 full size that come out. The Mini is bollocks. It really don't work for that machine. There are too many games where you have to press keys on the keyboard. How the fuck can you play Rescue on Fractalus on the C64 Mini? You can't. And if I'm pressing keys on some crappy USB keyboard of today, that'll just ruin it. You just feel like a prick. A shrunken down C64 with a keyboard that don't work, and using some Microsoft keyboard with them flat keys like a remote control on a TV. No, that's not going to do it, mate. So I think the C64 Mini is a waste of money because the keyboard didn't work. I said that on a video a long time ago, and I would have said that even if they sent me one for free. And you know, but the C64 full size, the keyboard does sound right when people are like typing on the keyboard in their reviews. It sounds very similar actually, so bit of tea because we're in England. So yeah, so that's the epilogue basically. That basically you have many options. There's a new C64 microswitched Competition Pro knockoff joystick sold separately. Perhaps that's for you. Perhaps a C64 full size is really what you should get anyway. I think if you haven't got a real C64, you have to get the C64 full size. I think that's really the gist of it. If you want to play C64 games and your budget don't stretch to that, and Windows does not drive you up the wall because you're an engineer like me, and I detest anything that's designed badly, and Windows is designed very badly. But you know, not everyone's like me. People look at me funny when I say Windows 10 is broken, and it is, and I could prove it. I wrote many pages in the notepad about a video I was going to do, and then I thought, screw it, no one's going to watch that video anyway. Now I can't find the notepad anyway. A4 notepad. And there was a lot of points there about things that are just, they just don't work, or they've never worked and they haven't been fixed yet, or they used to work in XP and now they're fucked. But I think I'm the only person that doesn't actually really need a full-size C64. I think that's really what it comes down to. If you have as much real hardware as me and as many, you know, decent condition joysticks, your favourite joystick, which in my case is the Euromax Zip Stick, brilliant joystick, you've got to get one, absolutely arcade quality. I think for everyone else, unless you bought a C64 Mini already, you should just go out and buy one. If you have bought a C64 Mini already, then you have to think carefully, should I spend my 110 quid on a horribly yellowed 64C? Now some people might say that, but Mad Commodore, the 64C has got the 8580 SID which don't play the samples, you prick. Well, I've got more than 20 64Cs, and I'll tell you something, not one of them has got an 8580 on it. Not one. I can't find a motherboard with an 8580 in any of my 64Cs. So there you go. And I've got 20 of the bastard things. 4 of my Commodore 128s have got a 6581 as well, and obviously the SX64s and the bread bins. So really, that's not an issue. So, you know, get a 64C as cheap as you can, just a computer on its own, make sure it's, you know, fully tested and guaranteed and all that from the seller. None of that untested bullshit. And then grab yourself an SD to IEC, a TAPuino, you know, buy yourself a joystick that you like, or used to like, whatever, and buy yourself like a cheap, you know, small 8 gig SD card, whatever, you know, you can get away with on those 2 devices. And I think the price is going to be very similar. Now obviously the 64C, if you use it all day, every day, all the time, it's probably not going to last as long as a C64 full size, but hey, that's just the way it is. Yeah, not much I can really do about that. It's not 1983 to 1991. You can't go out and buy a new one. Even if someone says they've got a brand new one, it's never been used. The components will still age. It's still possible the SID is damaged. Just there's loads of things that go wrong, and the timing is very critical on the C64. All those capacitors and resistors still have to have pretty much the same value that they've got printed on the components. Otherwise, it won't work the same way, especially surrounding the SID. Timings of the RAM, just stupid things like that, which will affect reliability. So I think that is the epilogue really. The fact that if you bought a C64 Mini and you're pissed off with that company, and like me, you really think the C64 Mini shouldn't have existed. You know, SNES Mini, that's fine. There's no fucking buttons to press on there except the buttons on the actual joypad and the reset switch on the stupid mini console. I think that's not really a problem, especially if you've only got an LCD. But you know, with the C64 Mini came out bullshit, and the fact that they've updated the joystick now, it should have been a microswitched joystick from the start. It should have been a good joystick. There's no point selling a C64 with a shit joystick, which is something Commodore did a lot with the 64C and the 64GS. Hideous fucking joysticks. No wonder people think the C64 shit if they had one of them. Who the hell is going to think, you know what, it's a great machine, thanks daddy, but I think we need to buy a Euromax Zip Stick because he's a shit joystick. No, that never happened. People just said, these C64 games are shit, mate. Especially if they played Chase HQ on cartridge. Yeah, so that kind of fucked it, really. So either way, I have to actually buy at least a joystick with the microswitches, unless I see a review of just the joystick and it pretty much says it's still shit, don't bother. Or a C64 full size, but again, that's dependent on the new microswitch joystick being as good as a Competition Pro, and I don't even like the Competition Pro because the 5 buttons are not microswitch, they're stupid leaf springs. So even then, but you know, for convenience sake, basically the bottom line of this epilogue, and I'm going to put the Streets of San Francisco music looping behind it, basically comes down to the fact you need to be able to just literally at any moment think to yourself, I fancy a game of Iridium on the C64 emulated perfectly and played with a good joystick. That's something everyone needs in their life, even if you never had a C64. If you had an Amstrad or a Spectrum, you need to see the full spectrum of what 8-bit gaming was like. On the one hand, you've got things that were on the Spectrum with a faster processor and the Amstrad too, and then you got obviously the Atari, which is sort of halfway between that and the C64. Really, you should have a Z80 computer, an Atari and a C64 to really round it off. But I think at the very least, because there's probably about 10,000 commercially released games on the C64, or commercial quality I should say, I think it's definitely a case of you either need to get a real C64, an SD to IEC and TAPuino and do it that way, because loading in real distant tapes fucking annoying. And if that's not really your thing, then I think you need to get a C64 full size. You have to get one of those two setups, and you have to have them out all the time, on a table, on a desk, under your TV, whatever you want, but you have to be able to do that. So that's really my advice. Right, let's play some games.